This is macOS Ken.
Mac sales grow amid supply chain worries. Apple Watch Series 7 starts to ship. And examining iPhone availability. It is Tuesday, the 12th of October, 2021. I'm Ken Ray, and this is news from macOS Ken, brought to you by yours truly and sponsored by Nebbia. Save 10% on Nebbia products by using code macOSKen at nebbia.com/macOSKen. This show is also sponsored by Ladder, smart, dynamic term life insurance. Life insurance, where financial concerns and thoughts of mortality get together. No, it's not a fun set of topics, but they are important and they are much easier to deal with Ladder. Before Ladder, getting life insurance meant going places, sitting through a sales pitch, filling out tons of forms, and then waiting for weeks to see whether you were approved. With Ladder, you can get fast, affordable term life insurance without leaving home. When you apply for $3 million or less in coverage, everything happens online. No doctors, no needles, and no paperwork. It's quick to get started. The first round of questions took me less time than you'll spend listening to today's show. If you're between the ages of 20 and 60, need coverage, and want to team up with a company that is redeeming life insurance, choose Ladder. Go to ladderlife.com/macOSKen today to see if you're instantly approved. LADDER, that's ladderlife.com/macOSKen, ladderlife.com/macOSKen. Last quarter was a good quarter for the Mac. That is according to numbers from a couple of market trackers highlighted by Cult of Mac. According to the report, Canalys had Apple shipping 7.8 million Macs in the September quarter. They put Apple's share of the global market at 9.3%, enough for fourth place in personal computers. IDC sees similar numbers, though not quite as good as the Canalys take. That firm had Apple shipping 7.6 million Macs in the third quarter, with an 8.8% share of the global market. That is not as good as the other firm's 9.3% share, but still good enough for fourth place globally. While you may love your Mac, these numbers are probably not all about a change in preference for the planet. Analysts from both firms agree that sales for computer makers would have been better across the board were it not for ongoing issues in the supply chain. An exec from Canalys was quoted as saying, "Disruption to the global supply chain and logistics network remains the key inhibitor of higher growth in the PC market." Meanwhile, one from IDC said, "Bottlenecked supply chains and ongoing logistic challenges led the U.S. PC market into its first quarter of annual shipment decline since the beginning of the pandemic." So far, Apple seems to have avoided the kinds of supply chain problems that have affected other hardware makers. New Macs expected soon could further strengthen Apple's position, or the company could fall victim to supply chain kinks. Cult of Mac says Apple is widely expected to launch redesigned 16-inch and 14-inch MacBook Pro models in the coming weeks. These are expected to bump up the company's Q4 sales, but a lot will depend on whether component shortages delay the release and restrict the number of units available for purchase. If you were lucky enough to order early enough to have an Apple Watch Series 7 scheduled for delivery this Friday, it may be in a cab, train, or boat. Mac Rumors ran a piece Monday saying that some Series 7 recipients have received notification that their watches are on the move. According to the report, some customers started to see their order switch to preparing to ship over the weekend, and now orders are starting to ship. New Apple devices are typically marked as shipped as the release date approaches, even if the item itself has been in transit for some time. So I guess I shouldn't worry that as I write this, my order still shows as processing and hasn't even gotten to preparing to ship. For its arrival this Friday. You're nervous. Apple's latest iPhones are still hard to get, with wait times hitting multi-year highs according to a piece from Barron's. But whether your glass is half empty or half full regarding Apple, long waits this year aren't seen as a surefire indicator of iPhone health. Sitting with a half-empty glass is Credit Suisse. It's not that they believe iPhone sales lack luster, but they can't be certain that the waits are entirely a function of demand as opposed to #these times in which we live. Yes, they are talking about the supply chain. Quoting the firm's note, we'd highlight that while wait times are a rough proxy for initial demand, the metric is only one of many variables impacting iPhone sell-through. Supply chain availability is a key unknown, particularly this year. Adding color, Barron's says wait times have in the past been viewed as an indicator of demand for devices, which would suggest the iPhone 13 is headed for blowout sales. But this year, in a world gripped by supply chain issues, wait times for some models being at multi-year records might not be the clear green flag it would have been in the past. Credit Suisse does think it's encouraging that wait times for the Pro phones are longer than the rest, though again, that could be largely a supply chain thing. The firm has a half-empty hold rating on Apple shares. Their price target on the shares is $150. More of a half-full type where Apple is concerned is JP Morgan analyst Samik Chatterjee. So it is especially worth noting when he says, yeah, we can't really tell what's going on with iPhone 13. Apple 3.0 ran part of a note he wrote. Lead times are still strong according to Chatman, longer than a comparable place in last year's launch of iPhone 12. Lead times are also getting a little better from a buyer standpoint. In the fourth week after launch, waits dropped by 2 to 3 days for the consumer end of the line versus a drop of 1 day for the Pro side. All that said, says the analyst, we do acknowledge that lead times on iPhone 13 series are less than a perfect indicator of demand relative to prior years, given the supply constraints this year. Mr. Chatterjee has a half-full overweight rating on Apple shares. His price target on the shares is $180. More news in a moment, but first a word from Nebbia, creator of the Nebbia by Moen Spa Shower. You know how a lot of showers leave part of you out? Yeah, not so with the Nebbia by Moen Spa Shower. The shower itself covers like I've never experienced before. It's almost like a steam room and a shower in one, depending on how hot you like the heat. Then there's this added coverage that shoots from the side thanks to the magnet-mounted wand. Aim it for a direct hit, pull it off the wall and wave it like a wand, or heck, turn it off if you want to. Flexibility, water savings, and a great shower. That is the Nebbia by Moen Spa Shower. The Nebbia by Moen Spa Shower starts at just $199, and for macOS Ken listeners, we have a deal for you. The first 50 people to use the code macOSKen at nebbia.com/macOSKen will get 10% off Nebbia products. Nebbia rarely does deals like this, so this is a great deal to jump on. Go to nebbia.com/macOSKen. That's NEBIA, nebbia.com/macOSKen to check out what they have to offer. The first 50 people to use the code macOSKen when checking out will save 10% on Nebbia products. The only exception to this is pre-order products, as Nebbia is currently offering free shipping in the US on these products. Again, that's nebbia.com/macOSKen and use that code macOSKen to save 10%. 3 update releases of note on Monday. First, a piece from TechCrunch has word of iOS 15.0.2 and iPadOS 15.0.2, both of which bring a serious-sounding security fix. According to Apple's security note, the fix for the I/O mobile frame buffer addressed a memory corruption issue with improved memory handling. Left unchecked, the vulnerability could have allowed an application to execute arbitrary code with kernel privileges. Although it sounds like we could replace could have with did. Apple's note says the company is aware of a report that this issue may have been actively exploited. Hey, good news, the updates do fun stuff too. Okay, not really, but they do fix some bugs, including the one where photos saved to your library from messages could be deleted after removing the associated thread or message, the one where iPhone leather wallet with MagSafe may not connect to Find My, the one where AirTag might not appear in the Find My Items tab, the issue where CarPlay may fail to open audio apps or disconnect during playback, and the problem where device restore or update may fail when using Finder or iTunes for iPhone 13 models. Now, how much would you pay? Well, you don't have to because they're free. The updates are available now through settings on an iPhone 6s and later, all the iPad Pros, iPad Air 2 and later, iPad 5th generation and later, iPad Mini 4 and later, and the most recent iPod Touch. Interestingly, there are no security fixes in watchOS 8.0.1, which also hit Monday. If you're still rocking an Apple Watch Series 3, this one's for you. Well, for your watch. The Mac Observer ran a report Monday covering watchOS 8.0.1 tailored specifically for watch number 3. Apple's release notes have the update addressing issues where software update progress may not be displayed accurately for some Apple Watch Series 3 users, and fixing an issue where accessibility settings may not have been available for some Apple Watch Series 3 users. You can get that one through the Watch app on an associated iPhone. You know, like normal. Remember how Apple turned on end-to-end encryption for Bookmarks in Safari recently? Yeah, never mind. Actually, you may not remember that. While I know that I talked about it on checklist number 250 by Secure Mac, not sure we talked about it here. Mac Rumors had run a piece saying Apple has toggled end-to-end encryption for Safari Bookmarks and iCloud, further expanding the type of user data that the company fully encrypts. The piece went on to say an update to Apple's iCloud security overview page has indicated that alongside Safari tabs and history, Safari bookmarks are now end-to-end encrypted, meaning no one, not even Apple, can access users' saved Safari bookmarks. Or not. Less than 2 weeks after apparently introducing end-to-end encryption for bookmarks in Safari, says a piece published yesterday on Apple Insider, Apple has dropped the additional protection. It's kind of a head-scratcher. The report says Apple didn't announce either move. Apple Insider thinks it's possible that the early indication of end-to-end encryption was posted in error. If so, what's being seen now isn't a change in direction, but a correction in copy. Either way, it's difficult to not be disappointed. The report points out end-to-end encryption would have improved security as iCloud synced bookmarks between the user's devices. Apple's own documentation describes end-to-end encryption as providing the highest level of data security. But whatever. And finally today, a bit of good news from the iOS 15.1 beta. Remember that thing that started with iOS 15? The one where you could not turn off an Apple TV virtual keyboard on a nearby iPhone or iPad? I told you about this one a couple of weeks ago. Entering text with a Siri remote can be kind of a pain. If you're watching Apple TV with an iPhone or iPad nearby, it can be used to input text instead. Before iOS 15 and iPadOS 15, you could disable that feature on an iPhone or iPad. Apple's documentation actually said you still could, leading some to think that the lack of an off switch was a problem that Apple would fix. that seems to be the case. iDownload blog ran a piece on Monday saying that the upcoming iOS 15.1 release, which Apple is beta testing, will bring back the ability to disable these notifications. macOS Ken, brought to you by me and sponsored by Ladder. Smart, dynamic term life insurance. Learn more at ladderlife.com/macOSKen. This show is also sponsored by Nebbia. Save 10% on Nebbia products by using code macOSKen at nebbia.com/macOSKen. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media, online at backbeatmedia.com. You can reach me a couple of ways. Info at macosken.com or call 716-780-4080. Until next time, that is news from macOS Ken. I'm Ken Ray.
Ciao.